Hi everybody, Andy Lightbody, Rocky Mountain Television, Outdoor Adventures, and greetings from the heat of the desert in Arizona. Well, we're here today, and as you can hear the bang bang in the background, today is the official start of the dove season down here. And the beauty of it is, especially in Arizona, is that they've got liberal limits. It's pretty easy to get a license. They're very user-friendly for both the resident and the non-resident. And we have a special guest who's joining us today also. Larry Voiles is the director for the Arizona Game and Fish Department. Larry, thanks for taking the time to join us. Thanks for setting this up. I mean...
Hey, thanks for letting me be a part of it. I can't think of a better way to start a morning.
You know, I tell you, we've got a couple of friends that we're going to be talking to here that have never hunted dove or haven't done it for years and years and couldn't understand what was the draw, what was the excitement. Well, now it's like hook them up. It's in the blood now. It's in the blood, isn't it?
Yeah. They've been mainlined.
Yeah. Larry, tell us a little bit about the hunting for dove down here in the Arizona area. Resident and non-resident are both obviously always welcome.
Absolutely. We've got a great program. We've got a variety of licensed packages that can appeal to both residents and non-residents. And, you know, there's no place like the desert for hunting small game. Mm-hmm. Small game is a lot easier in terms of no draw, no problems. We've got a world-class dove hunt. We also have world-class quail hunting. And later in the winter, we have a winter dove hunt that people just don't take advantage of what's here and what we have to offer. It's a great time of the year in the desert.
So it's a good thing I got your number and know how to get a hold of you or Rory, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So we'll have to redo this again. We'll be back.
We can fix that.
We'll be back. We'll be back. Non-residents that are coming in, as well as even the residents, a lot of states require the hunter safety classes or certificate. Arizona at this point does not, but they offer an incentive as to why you may want to go through it.
Exactly. On our big game hunts, all are permitted hunts that you have to draw for. You get a bonus point that gets you another random number in the draw, so you have an advantage if you have your hunter education bonus point. So that's the real draw there. We encourage people to take the hunter education class. We now have an online version, which makes it a lot easier for people.
Neat.
But it's not a requirement.
But, so a non-resident, say from Colorado or from anywhere, can come in and buy a non-resident hunting license.
Absolutely.
And don't have to have had it, although obviously we want to encourage from the safety standpoint and
sure,
better learning about the game and the terrains and things like that you would want to do that.
Right. And we have one of the best safety records in the country.
Neat.
So we feel pretty comfortable that the program we've got is working.
Where are we today? What is this particular area, and why is it so good for the dove?
Well, this is the Powers Butte Wildlife Area, which is affiliated with a series of wildlife areas along the Gila River. It's got everything that doves want. Fields are planted with grain, so they've got food. There's water nearby and trees to roost in. Everything a dove could want is right here.
Except us.
Well,
they don't want us today.
Temporarily, but you know what? I think they made monkeys of us enough that they're probably feeling okay about that.
Nobody has a handle on how many dove are here, but I mean, just this morning.
Healthy populations.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we've got a banding program. We kind of monitor the trends. It doesn't give an actual number, but our dove hunters this is a good place to be right now here in Arizona. And we've got two species of dove. We've got the white-winged dove and the mourning dove that are both game birds.
What's the difference?
White-winged dove's a little bit larger. Particularly the mature birds are quite a bit larger. The young birds are roughly the same size or a little larger
as a mourning
dove. They have a different flight pattern. They've got a squared-off tail and a band of white strip on their wing coverts that is the reason they're called white-winged. And they tend to nest and occupy the Sonoran Desert. They're pretty much tied to the belt where saguaro cactus can be found.
Okay.
And they like the riparian zones along the desert river systems to be able to nest in and roost in. And they prefer the larger grains. We've got some sunflowers planted near here. And the larger grain suits those white wings better than the mourning dove. Mourning dove prefer the smaller grains.
You've also got a third species of dove that's like the Eurasian?
The Eurasian collared dove is an invader that is kind of sweeping the whole country. And we encourage people to harvest as many of those as they can.
So they're not going to count in my daily bag or possession limit then, right?
Nope, they don't. They're not a part of your mourning and white-winged dove limits.
Okay.
And then we also have a Mexican ground dove and an Inca dove, which are very similar, a lot smaller. They are not legal to hunt. They're a protected bird.
But in this area here, in the Powers Butte area, primarily we're going to see lots and lots of mourning doves and lots of white wings.
Exactly right. In the early flight will tend to be more mourning doves, twistier, turnier flight, hard to track. White wings are a little higher flying, a little faster flying, but it's a straight flight, so it's a little easier to track on them, and they fly just a little bit later in the morning usually.
Or as we all both found out this morning, they're all very humbling when they're opening morning out there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Larry, as we wrap this up, people would like more information about where to get the hunting license or seasons and things like that and costs. Where do you want them to go to?
Best things to go to our website. We've got a really excellent website with a ton of information for everything from how to hunt and fish in Arizona to anything you might want to know about the conservation issues of the day that are going on. Okay. www.azgfd.gov. And love to have you take a look, learn a few things, and maybe catch your attention and get you to come on out and join us on the hunt.
Gee, that's terrible. We'd have to do that. Like I said, we're already planning on coming back. As he said, that there's a late season dove, there's the quail. Arizona truly is a sportsman's paradise. That happy note, everybody, take a standby. We'll be back with more here, talking with some of the other hunters, some that have not gone out necessarily very much, but had a ball this morning. We'll be right back. Of him and down. Well, as we pointed out earlier, obviously Arizona has a lot of dove, and down here in the Powers Butte wildlife area, thanks part and parcel to some really hard work of a lot of volunteers, coordinated by Phil Smith. You're the wildlife manager?
Wildlife areas manager.
Areas manager for this area here. Why is this area so good for, look at the clouds of the dove right behind us right now.
It's a wonderful place, Andy, because we've got the river, the Gila River, just to the west of us over here, it gives us a lot of roosting habitat and so on, nesting habitat for the doves. We've added grain fields here at Powers Butte Wildlife Area, as well as our mesquite bosques, and we've got some old cottonwood stands, and the most important thing is water. We have, with the irrigation of the fields, we're bringing water in, and so that's the biggest attractant there is with these doves.
So they've got the roosting, they've got the water, they've got the food. They're happy campers in essence.
Absolutely.
At least until opening day, right?
At least
when we show up, yeah.
Certainly.
How many acres is this particular wildlife area?
It's about 1,800 acres here at Powers Butte Wildlife Area. It's a one area of several that we have right here along the corridor. And we have Arlington, Powers Butte, and Robbins Butte wildlife areas, which are all within about 20 miles of each other.
And all of them are open for public hunting?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay.
We've got great public hunting opportunities. We've got foot access only for most of them, so that makes it a nice, healthy hunt for you.
Okay.
You can drive fairly close, within a quarter mile of the best hunting, so it's not hard to get to anything.
So it's not like you're humping your brains out up over the big mountains or anything like that?
Absolutely
right.
not. Right.
Okay. Pretty flat and open. Now, this particular area here, what was planted here and why? What are they coming back in for?
What we had here was sunflowers, and it's a different type of sunflower, like what you and I would eat, the gray stripes. And
right.
Those are the common. These are black oil sunflower seeds, which you find for bird seed. And so we've got sunflowers that we grew. We've got purslane, which is a typical vine crop that will grow in this type of country. Makes a very small black seed. So we're providing small black seeds, and we're providing the bigger seeds for both types of doves.
Outstanding. Now, you were telling me before we started to talk that, you've got like 4 or 5 different areas that you've got to oversee and manage, and thank goodness you've got an army of volunteers to help. Huh?
Absolutely. It's we've got a tremendous amount of opportunity to provide, but it's a lot of effort, a lot of work, and it wouldn't happen with what we've got so far, even if it wasn't for the volunteer base that we have. Volunteers make the world go round. They're very, very important, and appreciate every one of them. And they could be an individual, it could be a family from the local area. We have Chandler Rod and Gun Club is one major club that's very responsible for with things out here. They spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money helping out.
What do they do when they come out to help?
We've got tree plantings, we've got weed whacking, we've got fence building, different shade buildings and things and opportunities to provide those nice things for people, as well as just make the things work from the ground. Some folks are out here helping me plant seed and water, irrigate, spend some time doing that. So it's a lot
God
of
love
hard
them,
work.
huh? I mean, yeah.
Can't beat it. You can't beat it.
You told me that there used to be, you know, a lot more people that were in your position, and now basically it's you. So that army of volunteers really becomes critical then, doesn't it?
Very critical. We couldn't do it again without them. It just wouldn't happen. This is what we have here at Powers Butte is because it happened because we had folks that shared time.
Boy, you guys have done a remarkable job. I mean, it's gorgeous, you know. Other than the washboard road coming in, you know, it's. But what do you do when you get so many friends that want to come over and, you know, travel on this area on a regular basis?
We have an increasing amount of visitorship. We've got this used to be way out of the way. You had to travel and camp out to come out here when you left the city, but nowadays the city's 20 minutes away. Wow. So we've got our visitor numbers are way up, and the road sees a lot more traffic, but you know, that's at least it makes you feel like you're in the outdoors too.
Sure
coming
does.
in a little bit of
yeah, it
washboard.
did. Yeah. Phil, as we wrap this up, if people would like more information about maybe becoming part of that army of those volunteers to come out and enjoy. And obviously, if you're a volunteer, you get to know the area better too, don't you, Winky Winky?
Absolutely. The volunteers know where to be with the right time because
See?
they're out here and see it happen.
And we saw a few of them out here this morning. You were telling me that, you know, these are regulars, these are volunteers, these are people that I've seen out here, you know, before. So that's why they had that favorite corner all staked out there.
Exactly. They'd been here, they knew what was going on, and it was they just love it, and they help build it. So when they're out here, it's part of what they've done. So I think it means that much more even.
And they get to reap the benefits.
Certainly, from spending the time.
How do you add to them?
Well, to get involved, it's very easy. We have a coordinator in charge of our volunteer program with the Game and Fish Department. So the easiest way would be on the website. Just click through and you'll see for volunteer. There's always a little section there about volunteerism and how to get involved. And you can call the Game and Fish main headquarters and ask for the volunteer coordinator. He knows all about the opportunities out here. He'll link you right up to what your interests are, and we'll get things moving.
Outstanding. Phil, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. You can see the fruits of the labor, folks. I mean, this is insane. Outside of maybe going deep down into Mexico someplace, I don't think you're going to find as many dove here. One of our guys was joking from the Public Affairs Division. He said that Stevie Wonder and a couple of the other singers that don't have eyesight ought to be able to get limits out here today. So I'm a believer. I mean, it's cloud after cloud after cloud, and obviously because of Phil's hard work and his army of volunteers, that's why it's going to be here hopefully again for next year and many years to come. Well, not only have we had the opportunity to hunt with the director for the Game and Fish Department for Arizona, we also talked to Phil, who's very instrumental in making all of this happening, but another special guest that's joined us today and drove all the way from Tucson is Mark LaBarbera. He's the Director of Marketing and Communications for Safari Club International. And if you don't know what SCI is all about, I'd like to know what rock or what cave you've still been living under for the last few years. Mark, let's talk a little bit about SCI. First for hunters, for how long?
Oh, for decades now, Safari Club International has been doing conservation, education, advocacy, litigation, everything that puts hunters first. We want to do what's right to promote the future of the shooting sports and the hunting heritage.
Unlike some of the other organizations that are, how should I say, just gun only, which is important, of course, but, you know, for a lot of gun owners, hey, it's nice to have an advocacy group such as SCI also out there pitching our case for when it comes to the sportsmen and the fact that we don't have to apologize because we're consuming a resource that my goodness, like us today. I mean, we've got some good eating on the table in front of us, don't we?
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that fire in the belly that you and I have for hunting and the shooting sports is the same fire in the belly that members of Safari Club all over the world have. And we're kindred spirits in that sense. And they pitch in, whether it's donations or membership dues or support from sponsors who help our conservation, our education, our litigation efforts, including funding an office in Washington, D.C. We have lawyers, we have lobbyists who are out there on the front lines for all hunters, not just SCI members.
That's called boots on the ground, and that's important, isn't it?
It is. And then they're also given money to make sure that the projects for conservation are on the ground, or National Archery in the schools, education programs.
Let's talk a little bit about the conservation projects. You know, obviously this here is something that because of a lot of volunteers, you know, Phil and his group have been able to put together. SCI is also very instrumental in that. In fact, you guys have just signed a new deal, or in the process of finalizing a deal with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. What all is that about?
Well, that just happened. The folks in our record book committee and Big Game Awards program took the excess revenue that they generated and they said, we want to put it back on the ground, in this case for anti-poaching efforts and a new Operation Game Thief trailer in Arizona. And the same thing happens all over the world, whether it's lion projects, elk projects, all kinds of wildlife. If it's good for hunting and it's good for hunters, SCI will be there first.
Outstanding. People would like more information about Safari Club International, becoming a member, getting involved, either, like I said, charitable donations, a corporate sponsor, or, you know, learning more about why, wait a minute, you know, I need to involve SCI in my life the same way SCI is already involved in so many hunters' lives. How do they get more information?
Well, there's one easy way to do that, and that's to go to the website safariclub.org. And on there you can use the chapter locator to find a chapter near you for getting together with fellow hunters.
Because even though the organization is international, you've got chapters and groups literally any place you can virtually think of in major metropolitan regions, right?
That's right. More than 180 chapters around the world, most of them in North America. And the chapter locator on the website, safariclub.org, would be the easiest way to find that. Plus, you can register online to become a member, join the club.
So you can be a member at large as well as a member of a particular chapter then, correct?
Exactly. And
family memberships also, I know that.
Yep. A lot of folks choose life membership because once they see what Safari Club is doing, they want to throw their support behind it because they know that's the future. We need to protect the right to hunt, the freedom to hunt, and promote conservation worldwide.
Thanks, Mark. And if it wasn't for organizations like SCI, and SCI in particular, a lot of the good hunting opportunities that you've got, you don't realize. Number one, they not only wouldn't be there, number two, is we're seeing more and more encroachment upon the rights of the hunters. We're seeing a lot of these places evaporate. And that's when groups like SCI dig in their heels and say, no, and not on my watch.
How
Good
you
morning,
doing?
sir. How are you?
Morning. Very well. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Are the birds flying okay for you this morning?
They're not flying straight.
Well, they never do.
Yeah.
Really?
Not too pretty quick, it seems
Can you
like.
work on that for us if we put in
I've been trying to give them lessons, and they just don't seem
They
to
don't do
listen
that,
very
right?
good to me. They might to other folks. Anyhow, I'm with the Arizona Game and Fish Department.
Okay.
And, if I could, I'd like to check your licenses and any birds that you've shot this morning.
It's one adult. So we've got, let's see, one adult white wing, 4 juvenile white wings, 2, 4, 5, 6 juvenile mornings, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 adults.
Well, we've had so many friends out here and new friends out here today that I'm telling you, if you don't put it on your calendar to come to Arizona, which is probably the only reason why you'd want to come to Arizona in September, where today it's, I guess, going to be about 109. But hey, you can get out, you can hunt early. Other places you can stay and hunt in the late afternoon. You don't have to be out here all day. Well, joining us are a couple of friends from the Scottsdale Gun Club, Ryan and Rob. They've not hunted much dove, at least not recently, have you, gentlemen?
Exactly.
Right? Ryan, let's start with you. You've hunted dove in the past, right? But it was years ago?
I did years ago. It was something I enjoyed doing in high school, and then, off to college, got busy, started working, and just haven't been back to the field again.
And yet you make your living in the firearms industry and
Absolutely.
training and things like that.
Certainly.
And, so it's the old do as I say, not as I get to do or not get to do anymore.
Right.
Okay. And you You
Brand new, first
brand-
day.
A newbie. Huh?
Newbie. I'm surprised. 10 rounds, 10 doves.
Oh, excuse me. Are we all wearing boots? Because it's getting kind of deep over here, isn't it, Ryan? You were shooting next to it, right? But you said you had a lot of people that were really excited about going dove hunting, and you just said it didn't rock
Absolutely.
your boat.
You know what? Big grouse and quail guy. Never been dove hunting. Everyone's all whipped up about it, and until I actually came out here and did it, had no idea how much fun it really was.
What did you guys learn again, or what did you rediscover again today?
Boy, those things are certainly humbling. You get out here with that box of shells and think you got plenty, and you're shooting your scrounging rounds off of people.
Can I borrow 3 more?
Right.
Or as Mark had said, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a box of shells today.
Exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh. How did you do that? I mean, both you got limits, right?
We did great, as we did a lot of shooting, but not too far after sunrise, we were limited out.
Yep.
Got 10 birds pretty quick.
It's pretty insane out here, isn't
Great,
it?
tremendous amount of birds.
Now that it's in your blood, are you going to be back?
I'll be back pretty much every day that the season's open, I think.
We don't have that luxury. We got to go home in 3 days, but I'm sure you'll be trying to keep the population in check so
Absolutely.
that they don't invade
We'll leave a
Colorado.
couple for you. We'll
Or
leave
they
a couple.
don't come up and invade Colorado.
Exactly.
You guys are out of the Scotts, and there goes Mark. You guys are out of the Scottsdale Gun Club. What is the Scottsdale Gun Club? Because you mention it anywhere here in this area, everybody goes, ooh, nice facilities. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Scottsdale Gun Club, we've been open about 5 years. We have some tremendous growth plans here in the future, but we're trying to bring the shooting sports to the forefront. We want families involved, and we have nice, safe, comfortable ranges that are air conditioned and access to a lot of instructors, access to a lot of great equipment and a lot of knowledge. So it's a great facility, and you should come on and check it out.
I think the one thing that we want to underscore is that it's not just about tactical shooting or buying firearms. It's about the ultimate shooting experience. So that involves going dove hunting for the first time or getting your kids involved in the firearms.
So, you don't have to be an accomplished marksman and all this
Absolutely
and that.
not.
I mean, if you barely know that the brass goes in last and the pointy end of the rifle goes downrange, you still have got instructors
Come on
that can
in.
work with
Absolutely.
and teach these people everything about
Absolutely.
it. How big a facility is it, and where is it exactly located?
We're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're a 30,000 square foot facility, 32 indoor shooting lanes,
Gee.
25 yards for all of them, and we're rifle capable too, which is really popular with the hunters as well. So they can come in, get their rifles zeroed at 25 yards with no crosswinds, and the air conditioning is great.
As compared to what we're sitting out here right now.
Right.
Gentlemen, if people would like more information about the Scottsdale Gun Club, I'm sure you've got a website we can send them to.
It's pretty simple, www.scottsdalegundclub.com or sgcusa.com.
Outstanding. Well, we wish you the best of success. Obviously, now that we've got 2 new dove addicts out here, they'll probably be joining us again on some future hunts. And we're going to go take a tour of the Scottsdale Gun Club. So we'll try to put a little footage in and report back about the facilities that are there as well. Hey, think of it this way. You can make a week vacation out of it. Come down, do the Scottsdale Gun Club, stay in, come on out and do some of the great bird hunting that Arizona's got to offer. And we certainly want to thank everybody that helped make this possible. Rory Akins, the Director of Public Affairs for the Arizona Game and Fish Department. Larry, the Director. Everybody has just been absolutely wonderful. And, it's almost hard to keep my eye on the camera because even right now as I'm talking to you, we've still got birds flying. Folks, it doesn't get any better than that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Andy Lightbody for Rocky Mountain Television Outdoor Adventures.